Waking up in hell was usually a terrifying experience involving screaming, fire, or something trying to eat you. This time, however, it was surprisingly cozy. I was warm, incredibly warm. I shifted, groaning as the stiffness in my muscles made itself known. I was lying on something soft, fur. Barnaby, the massive Garzath, was curled into a ball, his breathing a rhythmic heave that acted as a living mattress. But the heat source wasn't just the beast. I was sandwiched, my back was pressed against the thick fur of the Garzath, and my front was pressed against a hard, muscular wall of demon royalty. Prince Aamon was asleep. It was a rare sight. Usually he was pacing, planning, or glaring at the horizon. Now, in the dim purple light of the glowing moss on the cave ceiling, he looked younger, less burdened. His dark hair had fallen across his forehead, softening the sharp angles of his face. His eyelashes were long, casting shadows on his high cheekbones. He had one arm thrown over my waist, his hand, claws retracted slightly, resting flat on my lower back. Our legs were tangled together. My heart did a traitorous double tap against my ribs. I knew the stories. Humans and demons didn't mix. We were food or slaves or pests, and princes didn't cuddle with the help, yet here we were. The undiscovered magic the Academy spoke of, the hybrid power inside me, was the only reason I was still alive, and it was the only reason Aamon hadn't left me in the dust. He needed me. But the way his thumb brushed idly against my spine in his sleep suggested he didn't hate the proximity. Enjoying the view. I jumped, nearly head-butting him. Aamon's eyes were open, crystal clear and sharp. He hadn't been asleep at all. I was just checking to see if you were awake, I stammered, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks. Aamon didn't move his arm, he didn't pull away, he just watched me, his gaze intense. Your core has stabilized, you recover quickly, unnaturally so. Is that a compliment? It is an observation. He shifted, his knee sliding between mine, creating a friction that sent a jolt of electricity straight to my groin. I held my breath. You wield infernal mana like you were born to it, Liam, but you have no horns, no tail. Your soul reads as human. He lifted his hand from my waist and brought it to my face. The tips of his obsidian claws traced the line of my jaw, dangerously close to the carotid artery. It was a threat and a caress all at once. What are you? He whispered. Just Liam, I whispered back, unable to look away. Just the guy helping you get your throne back. Why? Aamon asked, his thumb brushing my lower lip. The sensation was rough, callous, and incredibly erotic. I have promised you nothing, no gold, no titles. Why fight for a monster? You're not a monster, Aamon, I said, the words slipping out before I could filter them. You're arrogant, prickly, and you have terrible bedside manner, but you're not a monster. Aamon's eyes widened slightly. The gold within the crimson flared. He leaned in, closing the distance between us until his breath ghosted over my lips. The air in the cave grew heavy, charged with static. You are a fool, he murmured, his gaze dropping to my mouth. A dangerous, beautiful fool. My breath hitched. He called me beautiful. From the entrance of the cave, a loud, retching noise echoed. We sprang apart like guilty teenagers. Albert the cat was sitting there, looking thoroughly disgusted. Oh, please, the cat hacked. If the sexual tension gets any thicker in here, I'm going to hack up a hairball the size of a moon. Are we conquering hell today, or are we playing house? Aamon sat up, smoothing his leather armor with jagged, jerky movements. We are leaving, now. He wouldn't look at me, but as he turned to gather his sword, I saw the tips of his pointed ears. They were flushed a deep, dusky purple. I grinned despite the awkwardness. He felt it too. But as I stood up to follow him, a sharp pain lanced through my chest, right in the center of my mana core. It felt like a hook catching on a rib. I gasped, doubling over. Liam, Aamon turned instantly, the embarrassment gone, replaced by warrior focus. I'm fine, I wheezed, but then the pain doubled. It wasn't exhaustion this time, it was too much. The mana I had pulled from the storm the day before, it hadn't just refilled me, it was overflowing, it was expanding. My vision went white. I could feel the magic tearing at my veins, hot and acidic. His pathways are rupturing, Albert shrieked. The last thing I saw was Aamon rushing toward me, his face twisted in genuine fear, before the world dissolved into agonizing light.
Want to keep the flame ignited without having to wait for the next part? You can find the full, tantalizing tale on our main page. See the link in the description.